Afternoon team. Yeah, lovely winter's day, although we're only a week off spring, but no, weather's turned on a bit frosty early, a bit foggy, so just come out. We're just going to shift these lambs over onto the vetch. And Barry, what are you doing? Yeah, get them over onto the vetch, and then we're shearing next week. I'm going to box a couple of mobs of ewes together, and yeah, we'll get them up on the canal and we can walk them home. Yeah, either tomorrow or the next day. Probably actually thinking this paddock now, depending on how we go for feed, we might lock it up for silage or hay. Yeah, it's a fair bit of feed here now, and we need to leave the stock on it, probably stop it getting away. But yeah, we're just thinking that we'll yeah, get it tied, lock it up now for hay or silage. So we're really only sort of a month off getting into that sort of job, but there'll be a fair bit here, but we might as well take advantage of it while we can, because they keep telling us, as I keep saying, that it's going to stop raining at some stage. So anyway, it's pretty good weather for it at the moment. Pull up quickly to have a look at the canola here, and I'll use the ute as comparison. It's getting big. It's the utes, I don't know. The ute would be 7 or 8 high. Yeah, and the canola's getting that big. So yeah, you can just see now that the flowers are gone. The pods are starting to develop, so yeah, we're well on our way for grain fill, and it's just basically how many of these pods can fill as to how it's going to yield. But at the moment, it looks absolutely sensational. So this is the GM canola, or Roundup Ready canola, and then that's the clear field through the fence here. But yeah, no. Pretty cool time of the year this, as you've heard me bang on about, but yeah, it's exciting because they got massive potential, and yeah, they look really, really good. Here, come here. Here, come here. Jesse. Here, Baz. Here, come here. Sit down, sit. Knocked a bit of crop over here. Anyway, that's all right. Jesse. Sit down. Sit down. Come here. We just take a bit of a shortcut along the canal bank here. It cuts, it could cut 5 or 6 kilometres off, but I'll just lock them up here tonight and they'll work their way along. Yeah, and we'll probably walk them home after lunch tomorrow. This canal, I have spoken about it before, but those that are just new to the channel, this is where we get our irrigation water from. So it comes out of Lake Mawala and it weaves its way to sort of place called Deniliquin, which is about an hour and a half's drive away here from here, but it comes out of Lake Mawala. Essentially it's water out of the Murray River system. Yeah, but it's got a capacity about 10,000 megs a day, but it's very nearly out of its banks when it runs that quickly. But yeah, generally, you know, peak irrigation season, it'll be around that 6,000 or 7,000 maybe megs a day. But yeah, it's pretty still at the moment. There won't be too much irrigation going on at present. Well, not up here, where here there might be a bit down towards Finley and Deniliquin and beyond, but yeah, up here there's no one irrigating just yet. So just a bit of an update on the lucerne. Since we've sprayed it, so you can still see there's a little bit of bleaching just from the chemical, but it's quite a bit of ryegrass in that in here as well. We're sort of very close to ground cover. I'm sort of not too stressed about the ryegrass because it'll be a pretty good mix. So what we might do is might look at chucking a few woolies in here at some stage, yeah, in the coming week or so, and yeah, they'll do a pretty good job of cleaning that ryegrass off, and a little trim on some of this stuff actually won't hurt it too much. So but yeah, it's good weather. It's just starting to get cracking now. So what we do going forward, whether we you know, lock it up for hay or graze it off, we'll just have to see how the season progresses. But at the moment, it's yeah, it's pretty good mix here. It's done a pretty good job on the broadleaf. We still haven't got there's still a bit of stinging nettle through here, which is I can't actually see any to show you, but seems to be pretty hard to kill, which is a bit of a pain. But anyway, but no, generally pretty happy. It's been a pretty good season to get lucerne established too, which is always helpful. But yeah, no, kicking some goals at the moment. Well, good afternoon. Just walking the ewes home for shearing. Shearing on Wednesday, so we're a few days out yet. We're Friday, something like that. Dorothy on the back there, just ready to go. So the boys and I, we went out to a rice extension morning this morning. Just a bit of an update on, or a few results from guys that had grown rice last year, and yeah, a bit of an update on sort of current practices and that sort of stuff. I don't know, what was it, the meeting, 20 odd? I didn't actually count how many were there, but it was yeah, it was interesting. There's quite a few that a bit like us, haven't grown rice for 6 or 7 years, but going to have another crack at it. So yeah, there's a few new varieties and that sort of stuff that had come up. So yeah, Brendan's just finishing off the last bit of urea, and yeah, Tony's just, I think he's we're just waiting on a bit of oil to finish off the windrower, servicing the windrower. It's got it runs a full synthetic gear oil in the planetaries, and there's a little gearbox between the engine and the hydraulic pumps that sort of run the whole show. So the shop in town only had they come in 2.5, I think it's $85 for 2.5 litres. So yeah, the boys in town just had to get a bit more in, so we haven't quite finished off that job. Yeah, and he was going to start and change a few of the filters on the header for me, and yeah, but I'm just here, yeah, just walking these girls home. And yeah, we'll just chuck them on a bit of green tucker and a bit of water for the weekend. Yeah, still got to finish cleaning the shearing shed out and a few other jobs. So no, nice afternoon. No Friday arvo. So yeah, pretty cruisy this arvo. But what is it? 17 degrees. So we're starting to warm up. But yeah, things are, as I keep banging on about, things are looking very good. So anyway, we'll get these girls home and get them where they should be. Okie dokie, thank you very much again for watching, and yeah, well, shearing this week, and yeah, more maintenance and that sort of stuff. So yeah, things are starting to ramp up with what's going on. So anyway, keep watching along. We'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da.